And to put into perspective India's startup mission, the gains over the last decade, we have with us Dr. Rishi Mohan Bhatnagar. He's the chairman of Futrid Innovation Studios. Thank you very much, Dr. Bhatnagar. He's joining us from Delhi. Now, how has the startup mission transformed India's entrepreneurial landscape over the past decade, particularly, in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities?
Yeah, it has been a very big success. 10 years, from 4 unicorns, we have now 128 unicorns. From say 400, 500 startups, we have 200,000 plus startups in the last 10 years. The biggest thing is that the Indians, the young Indians, the young entrepreneurial Indians, that innovative Indians have been given an opportunity. They have been given an ecosystem. They have given an encouragement so that they can start working on something which is a transformative new opportunities. So, this is a very good successful story of the government of India, where allowing creating an ecosystem, creating incubation centers, encouraging individuals with a lot of kind of support in terms of commercial, financial, mentorship, infrastructure, so that they can create what we have unicorns now. Okay.
Indeed. You say about the 128 unicorns. So what measurable impact do you think that startups have had, let's say, on employment generation, on GDP growth? And how does this compare with the global startup hubs like Silicon Valley? Also, women-led development. We have 46%, in fact, of the startups have women leaders.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. We are now third largest startup ecosystem in the world. Okay. That has taken us to a very unique position where earlier we used to be considered as people who are working only on the system integration, people who are going to work of what new initiatives taken by the Western world, and we are going to do the back-end jobs. Now we are leading it. These 127 unicorns are really participating a lot in the GDP of the India, creating huge amount of jobs and new kind of ideas that can create some large changes, large transformation across globe. And when you think about 46% of these are Indian women, that again going to change the way we have been thinking about the growth strategy and the kind of initiatives we have for women. I just want to share one thing.
Sure, go ahead.
For 1500 years, 500 BC till 1000 AD, India used to be led by the entrepreneurs, and we were doing innovations, research, and designs. And our spices, our textile, our gems and jewelries, our metallurgy used to lead the whole world, and we are the 38% of the global GDP. Between 30 to 38% of the GDP is what global GDP is used to have, and that all used to be because of the innovations, the kind of design and the research that were happening in the country. And majority of them were led by women, because it was the women at home that used to take care of the businesses, setups, and skills, and men used to go out for trade.
Indeed.
So this is now completed.
So indeed, that is the lesson, of course, from the ancient past, and one should always treasure our heritage. But, when we look at the current times, government interventions, funding, incubators, tax breaks, how effective have they been, in bridging the gaps, let's say, that a young entrepreneur had, or giving them confidence?
In 2016, I was the one who led the first startup awards in India. Okay. You can imagine that today, it is 16th of January, and in the month of October that year, we did our first startup awards in 2016. Okay. And that time, asking for nomination and calling people for nomination was something which was a big task for us. Okay. And getting people to come and exhibit in the startup was something which we had to do huge amount of job. As the Honorable Prime Minister said today, that there were only 500, 600 people sitting in the Vigyan Bhavan when he announced the startup mission. But today, the hall was full and the Bharat Mandapam was getting smaller for the amount of people who are working. With 200,000 plus startups in India, it has changed the whole landscape. So not only the that's a financial perspective where we are able to give funds to the young entrepreneurs with good ideas to work on, but in addition, how we have been able, the country has been able to solve and reduce the this the kind of support required in terms of legal approvals, company formation. All of these things have been really great for us,
Indeed.
and that's what have been done by the under the leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister. The government of India has done a fantastic job in creating all this. And another
Okay.
thing is the IP creation. And this time,
Right.
the 100,000 crore rupees worth of money that has been put for the research led.
Right.
When we have to have startups, we have to have IPs, we have to have our own patents. And
Indeed.
that's way the country will grow by the technology.
Correct.
Today, when the
Absolutely.
Honorable Prime Minister was talking about, I am personally one of the investors, and I have also invested in the space startup. There are 200 startups in the space technology, and the future is going to be on space, future is going to be on ocean, future is going to
Okay.
be on next level of fuel, and so on and so forth. And now
Indeed.
the country is giving our young brain, young entrepreneurs to take that risk and take that opportunity of the government policies and
Okay.
take the country to the
So
next level.
you're talking about different sectors where India is likely to succeed and excel, in fact. But how successful have Indian startups been in scaling globally? What challenges remain, and to make us more competitive on the world stage?
See, I personally feel that India is such a huge market and we have 1.4 billion people. If we are able to grow in this market, and another thing which we have to focus on, that the Indian market force you to be at a lower price. You have to have a pricing points which Indians can buy at. So once I was reading a news from about the Honorable Prime Minister when he said initially when the mobile prices, call time prices was 16 rupees a minute, he used to say that I can afford only 1 rupee a minute. And today our calls are free.
Right,
Okay.
right.
That means the Indian telecom or Indian industry has not only worked on the scale, but also at a price points. And once we are able to achieve not only the scale, but also the price point which India can pay, taking it to the global market is not a big challenge if it
Okay.
is more of a software based technology solution. The challenges comes when we are into the hardware or the component or the manufacturing part. There we all have to do something more. There we all have to do something more,
Yes.
in terms of learning, designing, and
Okay.
creating some more R&D and innovation to bring to the quality of that product. We have been from the very start, Indians have always been very good in creating soft products.
Yes.
Software, we have been
Yes. Right. Software as
the
a
largest
service,
SI in the
indeed.
world.
SaaS. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But the moment it comes to creating design for a product, which is a hardware, it's a manufacturing thing,
Yes.
there we are still learning. And
Okay.
there, how to scale the challenge and taking it to the global level is something where we have to learn a bit more, and
Indeed.
we require some more support and guidance and some support from the government of
So
India to
exactly.
help us.
So let's look then at priorities for Startup India mission going ahead, because I mean 1 decade old, but still I mean India is looking at
Yeah.
the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. So obviously I mean we require a lot more startups and that momentum to be sustained. So what do you think Startup mission really needs to prioritize on?
See, as the Honorable Prime Minister also said today, that while we are thinking about X amount of GPUs for AI, we have been able to give more to the people. Okay, that's a very big initiative. That's a very good thing to talk and to say. But the amount of startups needing more GPUs and the cost at which they are still getting it is quite high. So the cost price of the infrastructure requirement for creating some more innovative ideas is something which is high, and we need to see how can we deliver it. The another thing which we have to see is who is getting these,
Yes.
the infrastructure, whether they are some internationally funded organization or it's only the top tier one, tier two colleges and institutes, or people in the tier two, tier three cities
Yes.
who have much more, appetite to grow and which needs much more support from the country.
Right.
Okay,
We
so that's one part, but especially on the manufacturing.
Yeah, go ahead, sir. We are running short of time. So, yeah, and we're not getting a good, clear image of you. So, I think there's a problem with the, the connectivity. But, I mean, thanks very much. I think you've given us a clear perspective, about India's startup mission and its achievements over the last 10 years and also, some sort of focus ahead. Thanks for being with us. Dr. Rishi Mohan Bhatnagar, expert on the tech sector, chairman of Futrid Innovations Solutions.